Hi Taurus, welcome to the Harsh Truth reading for mid-teen. This is taking a look at an area in your love life. Hold on a minute. There it is. Okay, I have to do it off camera. It messes with the cloth and the sound apparently. This takes a look at an area in your love life that you maybe want some clarity on. It could be current or a while ago. It could also be another area of life involving just love in general. Maybe it's talking about your family or friendship, work, things like that. But this is taking a look at the reality of the situation. But typically this is a love reading. Just so you know, it's kind of shaped up to be that way. All right. Okay. And more. Check your moon, rising, and Venus for a more thorough reading or rounded reading. This is general, and then it does get specific. I do clarify. I'm trying to get this in under minutes, but I don't know. We're already at a minute. We'll see. 3 of Wands. All right, so you're kind of wondering about the future with this person. Again, this could be romantic love or otherwise. You're wondering about the future. Maybe you've made some plans, and now it's time to see if they're going to come true, or what's going to come of those plans. All right. So we've got, what you want to be true here is, well, looks like a lack of opportunity or lack of, are we talking about a breakup here? You don't want it to be security based, or you don't want a serious commitment right now. You don't want to be planning for the future, and yet it's on your mind here, Taurus. Interesting. What you don't want to be true is maybe this is the end of it, that you guys have gone full circle, whoever this is with, again, romantic or otherwise, that has come full circle, and it's completed. Your cycle with this person or situation is completed, and it's, all right, looks like a bad decision. Looks like this is not a fair decision, or a decision that you're feeling comfortable with, or that is you feel is appropriate or right for the situation. It doesn't do it justice. What you want to happen is, according to this, maybe you want to stop all communication. Maybe you don't want to have to be in contact with this person anymore, and you just want to be able to unleash and let loose and go on the warpath to get things taken care of, especially if you're feeling this was a bad decision, or somebody made a bad decision involving you, or that you were treated unfairly and they're not being accountable. You want to let it fly. You want justice and karma here. You don't want to be controlled anymore. You don't want to have to deal with somebody who's moody or jealous or can be emotionally manipulative. New beginning here. That's what's going to happen, is a new beginning. All right, let's clarify here. Yeah, you can see that. Looks like I'm making a mess of things, though. Okay. Nope. Okay. All right, so we've got what you want to be true is that you want, okay, so this, if we're just looking at not everything's calamity based, right? We're looking at maybe letting go of some control here, letting go of some stability issues. Maybe you just want to concentrate on this love issue, this soulmate issue, this sort of being unified in love issue, and not have to worry about other commitments or other security issues right now. Let's just concentrate on the emotions. You don't want it to be over. You don't want this person to be limited in security or what they can offer the relationship. You don't want them to be petty. You don't want them to be, that could be the person. You also maybe don't want there to be a lack of planning on their side. You don't want them to not be forward thinking or looking at the progress for you two. And you don't want there to be other options, or them considering other options. You don't want it to be over. You don't want this to be the end of the cycle for you two. You want to get back to, look at these twos here in this pentacle. it's almost like you don't want to be, which is for Taurus, typically there's that security minded, not materialism, just you prefer things that are reliable and predictable, and you prefer to have that in place first before you can progress or truly feel secure with somebody. And then here we have wanting to worry about only the emotions, or just kind of wanting maybe to do away with security concerns right now, stability, and just look at the emotional side of the relationship and connect that way and really unify that partnership. You don't want for there to be other options. You don't want there to be limited security or lack of planning for the future, lack of progress. You don't want to feel stagnant or stuck. And you certainly don't want to consider other options right now in the dating arena or the dating area. However, what is true is, gosh, what is this? I don't like that. I can't get a lock on that. Hang on a minute. This is injustice. This is feeling like a bad decision was made or an unfair decision. There's no accountability. And yet we've got not being able to move on and getting your wish. Is it that you don't want somebody else to move on? That things weren't fair and that you don't want them to be able to move on? Is that what that is? Because something wasn't right here. A bad decision, maybe it's a bad decision to move on and they can't, and yet maybe there's a sort of smugness at somebody else not being able to, or satisfaction. Okay. That'll make sense to some of you out there, because we have justice, not being accountable, maybe overthinking the situation. Maybe there's just overthinking the situation, but the fact that can't move on, not being able to make hide nor tails of it, and yet it's a happy card here. Somebody's getting their wish. Okay. All right. What you want to happen, like I said, you want to let it fly. Wow. You want things to be moving in the right direction. You want both of you to be on the same page and emotionally fulfilled. You don't, okay, is that what this is? Is that what this is? You don't want to have to be the one in charge and be the one that's, okay. It's starting to feel like you don't want to have to be the one in charge. You don't want to have to be the one making all the decisions. You're probably in over analytical mode, and maybe you're going back and forth like, should I leave? What are we doing here? You want to be happy with this person, but it's almost like you're having to do all the decision making, and you're the one that's security minded, and you don't want to have to consider other options. I think you really care for this person, and you want to get back to feeling that emotional security with them, but there are those security issues and concerns. Like there is, well, obviously quite the issue of security. Like it's almost like either you can have this or you can have this or this, but it's like you can't have both. You can either feel united or unified with them, but then there's these nagging security concerns and this long-term possible planning, like what's going on for the future. Is somebody distracted by a lot of other options, whether it be other, dalliances, other relationships, porn, gambling, drinking. And is that going to cause an end to you and this person? You want to be happy with this person, but it's like they can't let go of the past. They got baggage. You're having to be in charge all the time and overthink things, and you just want for you and this person to be on the same page so you can be happy together. And yet you don't want to be controlled and emotionally manipulated, and you don't want somebody to sort of have that as an excuse to be able to act out, to be able to be unreliable as a partner. It's almost like, well, it was a bad day today, so I'm going to go out and get, plastered at the bar or things like that. Again, man or woman here, but it's almost like this is an excuse to be able to be irresponsible and unreliable and unaccountable, and to where you're the one that's having to do all of the decision making. You're the backbone of the relationship, basically, emotionally and security wise. And you don't want to have to do that soul searching where you kind of turn inward and start looking at, okay, you know what? I'm not happy. This is not making me happy. I don't want to be controlled by this person, and I don't like or respect that they use that they're not emotionally in control, in the sense that any little thing could sway them, and it could be an excuse for them to go use or drink or lash out or just be irresponsible with their emotions and how they deal with their coping skills. This is a person that has poor coping skills. And so anything becomes an excuse to be emotionally irresponsible. Okay. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a new beginning. There's going to be fast and furious communication, and there's going to be balance. And there's going to, so this is all about, all right, I'm going to take a step back. Probably things are going to happen very quickly, and it might be a tiff, it might be an argument, it might be a sort of things are going to blow, and it's like we've got, the world here, completion, and then we've got a new beginning right here. So it looks, I would say that this is a new beginning, that Taurus, you're going to kind of just take off, but I don't think it's permanent new beginning. I think this is a break, not a breakup. I think that you are doing a lot of work in the relationship, and it's taking its toll, and I think you're kind of over it. And this is about you, new beginning, sort of getting back to taking care of yourself and what matters. And it's almost like a flurry of activity and communication, and then nothing. Like, this is all about, okay, go with God, or just, I gotta go. I gotta get out. I'm stepping out before I say something I really don't mean. I'm doing this before I blow up, and I'm doing it with love and compassion, but it's towards myself also, and I need to do this for us as well as you and I. Okay, this just fell out here. Love endures. Love does not give up or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. I feel like that speaks to this, because especially this right here, because this is about balance, moderation, doing something purposefully, not overreacting, not doing it to where you just have had it and you blow. And this might be the fast and hard communication. There might have been a tiff, but this is not about, like I said, I feel like this is a break, not a breakup. And this kind of echoes that there's a love there. There is a love there. You just don't want it to turn into where there's no going back. And you're feeling burdened at this point. You're feeling like everything is up to you emotionally and otherwise. You love this person, but they can be very emotionally irresponsible, and they're probably don't have the best coping skills. And in some cases, we might be talking about addiction here, to where somebody has a secret addiction, and it's almost like you might have been the security backbone, material security for the relationship for a while, but it's getting to the point, where you can't anymore. It's like one or the other. Either I've got to sit here and manage this person emotionally and really work on the feelings with this person, like they need a handler, emotional handler, or I can be this, but I can't do both, because all of a sudden it went from this now to this, where I'm feeling like I can't be productive at work, or I can't be the security provider for both of us. I can't provide for both of us. And yet I'm really good emotionally with this person, or I can be security. But if I go over here and work on the security as far as being the breadwinner and scheduling appointments and driving us everywhere, and all things related to the ins and outs, mundane things of a relationship, maintenance, that sort of thing, then this person starts to stray. It's like they need an emotional handler, and that could be because somebody's either coming out of an addiction, or they've got issues from the past that they can't let go of. Okay? Oops, that one. What's that doing in there? This is about relationship and connection, and the relationships that we have with other. It's about spiritual bonds. It's about probably feeling like there's a real soulmate connection, and that would speak to, it's funny. I was wondering that. I thought, why? Gosh, this person seems like they're a lot of work. Why would there? Well, there's a love there, right? And there's an attachment there, and you do want to be with this person. There is that wish. And I think it speaks to a soulmate connection here, feeling like that there is that sort of almost spiritual bond or spiritual connection with this person as well. This is about, it's about the ties that bind us to each other. It's about that connection that we have. It's about, and typically it could be about spiritual connection, reaching out, and all the masks that we wear, but then we get to come home and be vulnerable with the person. But in this instance, it feels like you really feel like this is a fleeting connection, like you're doubting the connection with this person. That's what it feels like that's really been on your mind, and that's probably why you're taking a step back and just want to kind of pull back and see what give yourself some time to think and have this new beginning. But I got to tell you, I feel like it's not over. I just feel like it's a break. Not even if it's been years or months. I just feel like this person, you're going to circle back around with them again. There's that connection and bond that's just not. It seems like it's still very intact. That you two are still very connected, even though you might be separate. Also, this was going to come out too. This card was mixed in with this deck, and it came out up on the top when I was going to pull it. So I'm going to. Oh, that was there. No wonder it came. Never mind. That was there. Okay, that's why it was there. I didn't realize that I'd picked that up because I'm sitting there shuffling and then it came out. So maybe that's an extra reminder that yes, love endures. Love does not give up. Still very much connected. Guardian. This could be that whole providing security and making sure the trains are running on time for this relationship. Like you were kind of like the handler for the whole relationship. This could be what that's all about, is feeling like you very much felt like you wanted to take care of this person. That was very fulfilling for you, but at the same time, it can become a burden if you're not getting your needs met also. Just saying, this is 3 and 4, I'm just saying. But you still probably feel very much connected to this relationship, and still, even though there's probably a split right now, there's still a connection and a bond. So they're coming back. I don't know when. Maybe I can get a timing card on this. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can get timing here. One more. Okay, so Knight would be, let's see, Pentacles. That's one. Okay, so, all right, for some of you, it's been, hang on a minute. I want to say it's probably been a decade, more than a decade, in dealing with this person. Whether you've been broken up for 3 years and you're still on your mind 7 years later, however that plays out, it's been more than a decade dealing with this person. It looks like any kind of resolution or connection, reconnection, reunion, maybe talking again the next time, or the next time you have a connection with them, will be in the winter. It could be, hang on a minute. I'm trying to do the math in my head. Hang on. Okay, so we're probably looking when winter turns into spring. Okay, so the number 12, that's why I said more than a decade, because Pentacles are years, and then Knight is, so I don't think it's going to be resolved until, I think this has been ongoing for like 12 years, or we're in a 12-year cycle. You're in like year 7 of year 12 or something, however this manifests. Maybe there's a break right now, but it's not a breakup, and then maybe year 12 is one. But the number is significant, and winter, okay? So, and we got years, because Pentacles are years. So this is I think that's what this means too, is that this is a cycle, okay? Because this is about completion, and this is the last card in the tarot deck. So I think this is talking about a cycle that you two are in, and it probably has strong soulmate connection and ties because of this connection and bond you feel because of that. Either soulmate, past life, karmic connection, twin flame, that sort of thing. It's a very powerful bond between you two. Okay, so even with all that I've said, I'm sure that there's much more layers and nuance, and just there's a lot going on there, Taurus. I hope this was helpful. I hope to see you the next reading, and I hope this was helpful. Okay, thank you for stopping by. Take care.